Alright, for this tutorial I will be configuring a firewall and a gateway on a Linux ClarkConnect small business server. ClarkConnect is a rebuild of Red Hat for small business purposes, and it's a server I have in my house. So this is a gateway server. It performs network address translation for me. So first we'll go to network and IP settings. And the first thing we'll look at there is this has two network interfaces. One's an external network card, and that gets its IP address from DHCP from my internet service provider, so that's the outside world. Then we have an internal network interface card that has a private IP address that's set statically by me. So that's the two network card settings. The way you set this up to do network address translation is just to put it into gateway mode, and you can just do that by the drop down box. Gateway mode, standalone mode, or standalone mode, no firewall. We're in gateway mode with a firewall, and so there it's performing the network address translation. The next portion of network address translation is the DHCP. So it's automatically assigning the private addresses, and some of them are static as well. But again, it shows the two interfaces. This network card is enabled, but it's not enabled for DHCP, so it's not a DHCP server, so it's showing as disabled. The DHCP is enabled on the internal device, so that is giving away IP addresses to other devices automatically. And here you can see some dynamic leases that exist right now. And then below that are some static IP addresses that stay the same. But all these are private IP addresses that are being translated to the outside world. So to the outside world, they all look like that external network card. So there's the network address translation portion of the Linux ClarkConnect firewall. Next, we'll talk about packet filtering. Packet filtering is done through the firewall portion. So if we go to incoming here, by default, all incoming traffic is blocked. So you have to open up ports in order to allow traffic in. So the only port right now that I have open is VPN port. It's 1194, and that's what I use to VPN back into the network. Otherwise, there's no incoming connections allowed in. Everything currently is allowed that's outgoing, but that's just the way this one's set up. It wouldn't have to be. And then if I want to add any services or allow any other services, you can see here there's services that have been set up in the past that are currently disabled, like the web services. So if I enable this, all of a sudden I have a web server and it'll allow web traffic to this server. And there's some other standard rules or that I previously created. You can also create custom rules down here specifying TCP or UDP, and then which port you want to specify for, and so you can do some custom packet filtering that way. There's also the option to do port forwarding. So if you know a specific traffic needs to hit an internal server or PC, like let's say maybe you're gaming for a PC, so you needed to allow specific traffic to that, you could create a custom rule that would take all traffic designed for that port or any packets of that type and go ahead and forward it directly to that internal IP address. Once again, you can specify TCP and UDP there. So that's the packet filtering portion of this ClarkConnect server or firewall. One option that I don't currently use on the Linux ClarkConnect is the proxy server. A proxy server is essentially a server that does all the work of going out to the web and getting information for the other computers. And I'll pull up this web proxy page here, and it'll kind of show you what we can do with ClarkConnect. If we start this service, what the ClarkConnect server will do is it will cache web pages. So maybe web pages that are accessed often can be accessed faster internally, because they don't actually have to go out to the web to grab them then. They might have that web page already on hand and do some of that. Also, something the proxy server can do is content filtering. And ClarkConnect also gives us that ability. Once again, you have to start the service because right now it's not started. You can set it to automatic, so it automatically goes on boot. And then you can choose the content you filter. You can ban IP addresses. You have to subscribe to the service to get your blacklist, and you can actually add things to your blacklist as well to block those web pages for your web proxy server. So that's network address translation, packet filtering, and the web proxy server of Linux ClarkConnect server, gateway, firewall. It kind of does all of it. Thank you very much.